Statistics and Probability by Mr. Sarmiento. So the PowerPoint is brought to you by Mr. Roman Elpasardosa. So on this lesson, we will going to understand what is measures of variability. So measures of variability is also known as the measures of variation and dispersion. It is described as the amount of difference and spread in a data set. So dito natin malalaman ano yung pagkakaiba at kung gaano kalawak yung data set na meron tayo. So these measures include the range, mean deviation, standard deviation, and variance. So every time that you will see the measure of variability, ang dapat unang papasok sa isip natin is that we have the range, the mean deviation, standard deviation, and the variance. So first stuff is the range. So range is the difference between the highest score and the lowest score on the given set of data. So for example, we have 8, 11, 5, 9, 7, 6, and 3,616. So the lowest score value is 5. The highest value is 3,616. So the range is 3,616 minus 5 is 3,611. So the single values of 3,616 makes the range large, but most of the values are around 10 or 11 and below points. So nakita natin gaano nakalayo yung data. Ibig sabihin, from 5 to 3,616, meron tayong scores na 3,611. So, ganun kalayo yung naging data na meron tayo. Next, we also have what we call the mean deviation. So, mean absolute deviation, or MAD, is the values of the numerical difference between the numbers of a set and their mean or median. So, the average distance between each data value and the mean. So, it helps us to a sense of how spread out the values in the data set are. So, para makuha natin si mean absolute deviation, we have the summation of the score minus the mean over the total number of data. Saan, kapag nakita tayo ng ito, yung X bar, this is the mean of the ungrouped data. So, the mean deviation. The procedure in computing the average deviation is that first you have to find the mean for all the cases. Number 2, you're going to find the absolute difference between each score and the mean. And third, you find the sum of the difference and divide it by n. So, at the end of this video, I'll be showing you how to solve for the mean of absolute deviation. Next, we have the variance. So, variance. The expectation of the square deviation of a random variable from its mean. So, it measures how far each number in the set is from the mean, and therefore, from every other number is the set. So, kapag kinuha natin si variance, nakita natin gaano kalayo itong mga data na to from our mean or from our average. Kung ilang points, ilang set ang layo ng isang score. Kung saan, madaling nating mai-compare. Halimbawa, you have the mean, tapos we have the scores in mathematics. So, kung ang score ni 1 is 15, tapos ang mean natin is 18, ibig sabihin, si 1 is 3 points behind the average. So, nakukuha natin yon by means of variance. So, yan. Another example that if I tell you a data set has a variance of 0, for example, you know that every member of it is the same. So, pag sabi natin, ang closeness ng data is 0, ibig sabihin, para siyang nakastay sa isang lugar lang. Diba? If the variance is high, especially as a ratio of the mean, that tells you that the data have some very large dissimilarities among its members. So, from 0, diba, kung ang variance na makukuha mo is 0, ibig sabihin, ang data mo is ito lang, nasa isang place lang. Sabihin, hindi siya ganun kalayo. Pero kapag tumaas ang value ng variance mo, ibig sabihin, from your center, ang data mo is pwedeng malayo sa center. Yun ang role ni variance. So, the variance is get by the symbol na may squared. So, it is equal to the summation of x minus mean of the ungrouped data squared all over n, or the total numbers set sample of, or total number of population. So, later on, I'll be showing you how to solve for the variance. Next, that we have the standard deviation. So, the standard deviation is a number used to tell how measurements for a group or spread out from the average or expected value. Sabihin, bumubuo tayo ng kung ang variance is nagtitell sa atin kung gaano kalayo ang data, si standard deviation, nagbibigay siya ng exact measurement para natin masabing ilang beses mas malayo si data sa center. So, a low standard deviation means that most of the numbers are close to the average. So, a high standard deviation means that the numbers are more spread out. So kapag sinabi nating mababa si standard deviation, at pag sinabi nating mataas si standard deviation, doon natin malalaman kung gaano kalayo si data. So, ang magiging batayan natin ay si mean. So, for standard deviation, we have the formula. The summation of the score minus the mean of the ungrouped data over total number of data ng sample or population is for the standard deviation. As you can see, halos parehas ang formulang variance sa standard deviation. But the difference is that at the end, si standard deviation, kailangan nating tanggalin si squared ng symbol na, kung di ako nagkakamali, this is omega. So, para magawa natin yon, kukunin natin yung square root ng both sides. So, for standard deviation, it is the square root of the summation of scores minus the mean of ungrouped data raised to 2 all over the total number of data. Or in a layman's term, standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Yan. Kapag in-square root mo si variance, meron ka ng standard deviation. So, let's proceed with the example. So, on this part, makikita natin to sa video mamaya. So, the IQ of 5 members of 2 families, A and B, are the following. So, we have the family A, we have 108, 112, 127, 118, and 113. While family B is 120, 110, 118, 120, and 110. So, the questions to be followed is that find the mean IQ of the two families. For B, we're going to find the range of the IQ of both families. For letter C, which of the two families has consistent IQ? So, to give you an example on how to compute for the measures of variability, you continue watching this video.